Hey, what's going on guys? It's Tom Mason here, back with another video, and today we're talking about this, the Z6 II and that latest firmware upgrade. I've been getting a few questions about it, and lucky enough I've had the camera in my hand for the last couple of weeks on loan from Nikon, so I thought it was a good chance to talk about that firmware update, the improvements to the camera, the new features that we've got, and also show you some of the pictures that I've been making out in the field over the last week. I've been using the new 70-200S with a 1.4 teleconverter on the Z6 II with the latest firmware. Really enjoying it out for some local work. Been photographing hares mainly right on the doorstep, and it's been really good fun. But let's get set up, set in, and talk about some of those upgrades that we're seeing from the new firmware update. It is an absolutely gorgeous spring day today. Right, this afternoon I'm out looking for hares, one of my favourite local subjects. And I've been here for the last couple of weeks with the Z6 II, making the most of some of the wildlife on my doorstep. I've had some great opportunities to get close and make some images using the 70-200 with a 1.4 teleconverter on the Z6 II. I even managed a shot the other night that I've been looking for ages, a backlit hare, really nice, sun going down behind it, absolutely great, really fun, and the Z6 II really has been working a treat for this sort of work. But today, of course, we're talking about that firmware update and the changes to the camera that came around with the 1.1 upgrade. Now the camera, of course, with that improved dual processors, extra card slot, everything like that, was already a great improvement on the Z6. But now with this firmware upgrade, we're seeing more, more pushing forward of the technology within these Z cameras. And over testing it the last couple of weeks, I've been really rather impressed by what I've seen. Now, first off, in terms of that upgrade, we're seeing the introduction and development of that autofocus and eye detection and face detection. Now, for myself as a wildlife photographer, I tend to use single point and group modes, but when I'm filming myself for videos like this, that eye detection and face detection is super handy. Makes my life much easier, so I can rely on the camera to keep me in focus, and then go about my shooting when I'm working on some behind the scenes videos. Now, when I'm working creating some stills images and video over the last couple of weeks, I've been really amazed by the quality of the tracking in the Z6 II for faces. With the auto area mode, using the whole frame, or in the wide mode where we're just using a kind of wide detection area, it really does work great. I was splicing some footage recorded from the camera showing how it tracks me in the frame. You can see that yellow box stuck to my eye, tracking me as I move up and down. Doesn't matter if I move out the frame, back in, it keeps up with me. Really does work well. Tried it with a variety of lenses, the 70-200, my 24-70, as well as the 35mm prime, and across the board it just worked fantastic. Really locking focus, keeping up. Nice indeed. That wide area mode, super useful for anyone who wants a little bit more control over their composition. Something that's going to be really useful for anyone who shoots people, be it like wedding photographers, portrait photographers, travel photographers. That's going to be great. And for myself, when I'm filming me, just being able to have a little more control over my composition within my video is really nice indeed, especially when I'm busy trying to photograph the wildlife in front of me. Really is nice to be able to rely on that eye detection and face detection to keep me in focus. Now, moving on from that eye detection, face detection, and the next addition to the camera with this 1.1 upgrade is that of the 4K 60p. This was something that was talked about when the cameras were released, that it would come by firmware, and we've seen that introduction now. Now, the 4K 60p is full readout, so you get fantastic quality from the image. There's no line skipping or pixel binning. The only thing you're going to have is a 1.5 crop to make sure that you get that. Now, for myself as a wildlife photographer, no problem whatsoever. A bit of extra reach on my cameras is really handy and super useful, and I'd much rather have the high quality output rather than that kind of like lesser quality, poorer sharpness and stuff like that, but having that kind of wider field of view, it doesn't really matter to me that much. But it really is nice to see. It's going to be super useful for splicing in those slow motion clips, or being a bit more creative with my filmmaking. I already found it nice to get a few slow motion clips of hares kind of like shaking off and stuff like that. It's really worked quite nicely, and it's something that for myself and the way that I shoot, I can see being super useful in the future. And it's certainly really intriguing me about the possibility of switching up and changing over to a Z6 II for my kind of primary filming camera when I'm shooting videos of myself. Certainly is something of interest and to think about. Now finally, within this update, final upgrade that you're getting with the 1.1 upgraded firmware is that of additional support for those cameras that have already had the paid for RAW upgrade. You can now use a Blackmagic Video Assist as well as you know, the Ninja, the Atomos Ninja, to get that RAW output. That really is nice to see, you know, more pro end features for people using these cameras for more demanding shoots and wanting the best quality they can get out of it. You know, I have my Z6 converted to be able to get raw output from it, and I really love the flexibility it gives me. Super useful when I'm shooting kind of higher end stuff, or I just want the best quality I can get. Really is nice indeed, and something I've definitely made the most of. And if I got a Z6 II, I certainly would make that upgrade for sure. But you know, in terms of these firmware updates, I think it's really nice to see Nikon pushing this forward. Going from 1 to 1.1, we're already seeing some major gains with a 4K 60, you know, the eye detection and the additional RAW features. But in terms of that's only 1.1, it'd be amazing to see where this goes with, you know, maybe a 2 upgrade or a 3, as we saw with the original Z6. Really is exciting me about what is to come with the Z series autofocus and abilities that we're going to get from these cameras. You know, with that announcement of the new flagship camera hopefully coming out in the future, it really is an exciting time looking at these cameras going forward, and it really is interesting me about making that full switch to a mirrorless system. This camera certainly could be my go-to video camera for my YouTube videos and stuff like that, with a flagship camera in my hand as well. Certainly something to think about. But right, that's about it for the firmware upgrade. But as there isn't too much activity, but the light is getting good, I better get back to looking out for hares and hopefully making a few more pictures. But yeah, the Z6 II is certainly really intriguing me about a possible update. Right, I've just had a hare pop its head up, looking over the fields, and that'd be quite a nice picture. There we go. Oh, I just got one of it having a little blade of grass in its mouth. That's quite nice. He's still a little way off, so I'm just sticking him up in the corner. Hopefully he'll come a little bit closer, but he's just heading towards the hedge line. There's loads of bugs up and flying around as well that are looking really nice as the light's dropping down. So I'm just hoping as if we get into this last half hour of the day, we get some opportunities for some images. It's so lovely and warm. It is such a nice treat, as it has been cold for the last couple of weeks, but really is nice to be out here, just in a t-shirt, enjoying some sunshine for sure. There he goes. He just pops into the other field. I thought I'd just sign off, you know, with a final little roundup with the Z6 II and my experiences over the last couple of weeks. I've been super impressed with this camera, the way it's been tracking, holding focus, keeping up with my subjects, making some really nice opportunities for images. You know, as a, you know, step forward from my Z6 that I've been using for years, you really can see that benefit of that new processor and the new firmware, the updated tracking, the eye detect, everything like that really is just working that much faster and quicker. Super slick out in the field, to be honest, and a camera that I really feel I can super rely on to just nail the shots that I'm after. That 4K 60p has been handy to have, and something that I definitely know I really would use a lot if I decided to invest in one of these cameras going forward. I think that for anyone looking for an all-round camera, in kind of whatever genre you're doing, if you also want to be able to do high quality video as well, the Z6 II is certainly one to reach for. You've got that great sensor, and it's a great kind of like compromise between resolution, ISO performance. You know, you've got the speed, you've got the video capabilities. It really is a great all-in-one package. I've been really enjoying using it over the last couple of weeks, and it's certainly made a couple of images that I know will get into the portfolio, and that is really, you know, all I need from a camera. If it can produce a portfolio shot, then it's right up there. But right as the sun's setting I should probably get back to it, and that's probably going to be about it for this video. You know, I'd really like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the Z6 II and the updates that we're getting from firmware? Have you updated your camera? What do you feel the improvements are? You know, how are you going to make the most of it? We'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. But until the next one, guys, remember to get out there, get shooting, and enjoy your wildlife photography. And until the next one, I'll see you soon.